With the transition to democracy in 1994, the social structure in South Africa has been dramatically transformed, and a number of inequities from the past have been addressed. There have been improvements in access to housing, electrification, and sanitation. These are just some of the areas which have been addressed. And the access to employment opportunities has changed the face of business and the workplace significantly. However much transformation has occurred, we still live in a divided and unjust society, and there are still a large number of issues which need to be addressed. The gap between the rich and the poor, often referred to as the haves and the have-nots, has not been reduced in any significant way. In fact, it has become wider. We all have a role to play in the transformation to a new, just and equitable society. And universities have a central role to play through relevant knowledge production and education to accelerate the social change and societal transformation. Community engagement is one such area where universities can assist in the embedding of principles of social transformation within our culture.
Community engagement is a two-way street. On the one hand, the community partners gain assistance in the form of a knowledge base, which they may not have access to, and the student gains experience in working in a social environment which they may not be familiar with. This is a way in which we can create students who are emerging from university with a holistic education, better equipped to deal with the realities of everyday life, and able to contribute to a more just and equitable society.
Because of our position within society, we as universities should be centers of transformation. Historically, universities have been places where outdated values are challenged. As knowledge organizations, we need to find ways through teaching and research to embed universities in the transformation context. And the community engagement programs allow the students themselves to play a leading role in shaping and remaking a new society.
Inkwenkwezi is a student-run community engagement society. We work in schools in and around Grahamstown trying to improve early literacy. I think it's important for Rhodes students to get engaged in these community projects because I feel like it's so easy as a Rhodes student to get wrapped up in our own little community, and it's really easy to forget about the wider Grahamstown community, and really getting involved in that community has been so rewarding for me. And so you learn so much working with people who aren't in your immediate, surroundings, who have different life experiences to you. Especially with these kids, working with kids who come from completely different backgrounds to me. I've learned so much and I've grown so much as a person, and I really think that's a huge plus for Rhodes students.
Rhodes University's three key areas of teaching and learning, research, and community engagement provide an environment that encourages critical thinking and holistic education of graduates, preparing them to take on challenges of creating a new, socially just society. These capabilities are not all acquired in the confines of the lecture theatre, but are developed by working cooperatively with community groups and jointly responding to social and economic issues. Community engagement provides students with valuable opportunities to interpret, rework, and apply new knowledge by learning to work in harmony with communities to achieve a desired outcome. Graduates will not only leave with their degree, they will leave with a broader experience, enabling them to engage with various groups of diverse people with confidence. Rhodes promotes a holistic education, offering varied opportunities for growth and development, based on the principles that students find and identify a purpose in life by connecting to the community and humanitarian values. A person who has the ability to look beyond the crass materialism which pervades our modern lifestyles. However, it needs to be stressed that embarking on a community engagement project is not just a form of charity, it is a commitment to helping create a new society. Community engagement programs emanate from a number of different sources. the Student Volunteer Program, various residence-based programs, sport club-based programs, society-based programs, and academic departmental programs. Registration for the Student Volunteer Program takes place twice a year, in February and July, at the Community Engagement Offices in Prince Alfred Street. Registration forms can be accessed online on the RUS website, www.ru.ac.za/community engagement, or may be collected from our office. Students and residents can join the RES initiatives organized by the House Community Engagement Rep. The same applies for sports club-based groups. Some academic departments integrate community engagement into their course, and participation will depend on the course you choose. Training workshops will be held over 2 weekends before starting work in the community. There are currently 34 community partner sites students can choose from. Students are expected to commit to at least 1 hour per week as volunteers. These sites encompass care projects, mentoring projects, literacy and homework projects, early childhood education projects, or high school tutoring projects. There are a number of shining examples of service learning projects in academic departments. Pharmacy fourth-year students work closely with the clinics in town who refer them to patients on chronic medication. The course coordinator, Wendy Wrench, says that the students acquire a considerable body of academic knowledge, but are not sufficiently prepared for real-world situations in which they find themselves as practicing pharmacists.
Basically what it entails is our fourth-year students, by the time they've got there, they've acquired a certain amount of academic knowledge, but they haven't had much opportunity to put that knowledge into practice. And we feel that as they are going to be practicing fairly soon, we need to let them engage with patients that they will be meeting on a regular basis. So what we do is we identify patients with chronic conditions such as asthma, hypertension and diabetes, and we ask them if we can come and interview them in their homes. And we have a structured questionnaire that we ask them about them, if they understand what their medical condition is, ask them to explain how they're taking their medicines, and depending on the responses that we get, we give them information on the correct way to do things. Benefit for the students is that they actually can see what happens in patients' homes. When you're in a pharmacy or in a hospital pharmacy, you don't really know understand what happens at home. And by going into patients' homes, you can actually find out more about why patients possibly don't take their medicines correctly, that they didn't understand the instructions in the first place, or they've got more pressing issues that they are concerned about, that medicine isn't one of their priorities in their lives. So students see the reality of patients and patient adherence or non-adherence. Okay, this is an isiXhosa information leaflet explaining to people how to use their asthma inhalers. As you can see, it's in stepwise form, and the use of the actual pictures we find really does help people. What we also do with this is actually have an inhaler with us at the time, and we give a physical demonstration as well. We then ask patients, well in fact before we give the demonstration, we ask patients to demonstrate how they're actually currently using it. In this way the student can see what's not being done correctly, and then we use this together with an actual physical demonstration to explain the correct way to use inhalers.
Many of the residences adopt a project for the year and work closely with the management to identify needs and strengths and strategize around these to get maximum impact in the time they have in the site. Phelps House adopted the Home of Joy, a home for abandoned children. A number of students visited the site every Saturday, giving the children academic support, teaching life skills, and doing some fundraising to provide stationery and toiletries for each child. Other community engagement programs may include extracurricular activities, including art, drama, or IT literacy projects. These creative engagements bridge creative and academic skills. In the 1960s, the late US President John Fitzgerald Kennedy made a statement which perfectly describes the concept of participating in a vibrant democracy to the benefit of the common good. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country."
These are people who are not professionals, people who go on stage and they rehearse their lives on stage so that they can find solutions.
Just making that little difference is making a bigger difference than we can actually comprehend.
It's just not me giving my time and my enthusiasm and my energy and everything. I actually receive quite a lot from them. I've learned a lot about myself during this whole coming here and volunteering.